Hey guys, this is Chris, Tabletop Sports Delaware, and we are bringing you a playthrough, 3 videos long, of 1960, The Making of a President by GMT Games. This game was designed by Jason Matthews and Christian Leonhard, and did a fantastic job with this game. Just fantastic. If you're into this kind of game, you'll see how it plays, you'll see what it does, and I just hope that you're going to enjoy it. We've already done one video, basically going over the rules, and we're going to do the rules in more detail as we go here. First, let's start with setting up the game. We're going to be on page 6, upper left corner, setting up the game of the rule book that comes with this wonderful game. Place the state seals face up in their corresponding states, which we have done. So every state has a round token, and you're going to place it in there. On the adverse side of it is going to be the electoral votes a state is worth. However, it is also on the game board. This is more for the final tally. Sorry, the little fuzzy on the picture. You get the idea. I don't know, something with the camera. But I wanted to make these videos, and apparently this has been a problem for a while, so it's nothing you guys aren't going to be used to, so I'm not going to worry about it. Second, setting up the game, place the appropriate number of state support cubes in each state as indicated by candidate icons. Now, if there's nothing here, it's just a token. If there's one here, red, elephant, Republican, 1 state support cube. If there's two state support cubes, and it'll be the state that it indicates. 1 blue, so that'll be 1 there. 2 blue. So 2 there. So you're going to set up all the states with the existing state support cubes. So this is how the state supports are going to start out. These are leaning states. They tend to vote in that direction. However, this is actual support, and you want that for the higher electoral states at the very least. The lower electoral states at the end of it, whoever has endorsements is going to, in a region, is going to get all the unclaimed states in that region. They get a cube put on it. If there are no endorsements, then a cube goes to whichever candidate it is, so endorsements are a good thing to get. Next is going to be place candidate tokens in their home states. Kennedy is in Massachusetts. Nixon is in California. Place the issue tiles in their indicated spaces on the issue track. Defense starts out as the first place issue. Economy starts out as the second place issue. And civil rights starts out as the third place issue. Place them here in that order to start the game. That was down here. It's on the edge. Anyway, boom. Next, you're going to place the turn track and the phase track markers on the first spaces of the turn track. Turn 1. Now, put it there so you can see it. And phase 1. So that way you can keep track of that. Next, each player should choose a side. And I've got a little setup I'm going to use that I've used playing solo to keep the footprint a little smaller. Actually, everything is on the board when I play it, but so boom and boom. I'll just keep these handy here. I'll do it the way I do it. You can do it however you like. You can place your campaign strategy cards on the spaces. You can place your rest cubes on the spaces. I'm here. This is where I'm going to be doing all this accounting. You can do it however you choose to do it, whatever's easiest for you. Each player should choose a side and take the cube supply of the appropriate color. I've got the red the red cubes off the table, off the screen over here on Nixon's side. And I've got the blue cubes over here off the screen on Kennedy's side. Second, they take the appropriate candidate card. Third, they each start with 2 momentum markers. 1, 2, and we'll put them right there. I was keeping. I don't want to do that though. They're going to slide. We'll put them right above him. And Nixon gets 2 campaign button momentum markers. Doink. These are going to slide a little bit because I have this sloped slightly, so that way it would show up better and there would be less vignetting on the bottom corners. It was horrible before, so you're welcome. 2 momentum markers. Okay, next, seed the political capital bag with 12 cubes from each player. This is the political capital bag, the black bag with the drawstring. And you are going to seed it with 12 cubes from each player. So we have 12 Democrat, and we have 12 Republican. Doink. Shake it up nice and good. Kind of like shake and bake, baby. Shake and bake, because this is going to bake like crazy. Alrighty, we have done that. Next is shuffle the campaign card deck and place it face down near the board. That would be these cards, the campaign deck. And they're kind of mixed up, but I'm just going to, one more time, schmooze them in here a little bit, so that way they're kind of good to go. Maybe cut it. And I'll keep those off the board real close. I've played 3 games so far, and I've not really come too awfully close to going through the deck. However, if it happens, I think the rules are reshuffle and re-go. Not sure. Shuffle the endorsement card deck and place it near the board with a stockpile of endorsement markers, which are those guys with the newspapers on them. So I'll keep those over here off as well. So that way all we have is plenty of room to move around the game board. I've also got the momentum tokens over here out of the way. And then set the debate board aside for now. You will not use it until turn 6. Have my campaign, my political capital bag with campaign cubes in it. We're now ready to go. It says, note, cube, endorsement marker, and momentum marker totals are not absolute. In the unlikely event players run short during the game, they can use convenient replacements such as coins, meaning if they go through their entire piles, which I've come to within 10. I'm not going to sweat that though. Alright. So now we get sequence of play. We are turn 1, phase 1. So the first thing you do, the first thing it says to do is, let's see. Initiative phase. It says each player is dealt a new hand of cards on the first 5 turns. Then it says to do an initiative check. As I explained earlier, who do you deal the cards to first? It does not say. After the nope, it does not give that in the rules. So rules as intended, I do the initiative check first. Doink, doink. We have 2 red cubes. Nixon has initiative. Now this is kind of how I keep track of it here, so that way I know who has initiative on the turn. Not necessarily who goes first. We're going to say that Nixon is going to let Kennedy go first. This is how I keep tracks of it. Right there. Nixon is going to let Kennedy go first. So I'm going to alternate them up and down as I go through the turns. That's how I do it. Come up with a system that works for you. They're each going to get 6 cards. Nixon will be dealt first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grabbed 12 right off the bat. Doink. Now playing solo, you can't help but know what some of the other cards are. You can't help it. However, I've allowed the player who won initiative to go through his cards second. Normally what you do, you can play your cards in any order. You just hold them like this, and you play a card. You have these to choose from for Kennedy. Me, I go through and I find the one that I want to keep for campaign strategy that goes towards the debates, and I put it on the bottom of the pile. And I'm going to, let's see, Kennedy issues support on defense. He's got a lot of good cards here. However, there are some that say you cannot use for campaign strategy phase, like that. This card cannot be played during the campaign strategy phase in the black box there. That's a momentum card. And he actually wants to get that pretty good. So I think he's going to go for... doesn't have any that do defense. He's going to go for the economy. But they're all 3s. He's going to do that for last. He's going to do that. That's going to be first. So yeah, I kind of get the order of the cards. Not crazy, but I kind of get some of them. There are also event cards. You have prevention events, which prevent certain other cards from being played. You have debate events, and if you put a debate event card right here, down here, guys, if you put a debate event card here, then it takes place during the debate. And there are election day event cards as well, and all these cards are indicated by the bar right underneath the title above the text. That says election day event. And autofocus my light. Anyway, that's what that is. Election day event. The board. Okay. So I think he's going to play that first. He might do that last. And that is... okay, boom, that kind of works. And all of them he can use. That's actually kind of cool. Alright. Alright. I'm going to do that right from the word jump. Okay, so phase 1. He's going to let Kennedy go first. So Kennedy is going to go first, right there. Kennedy plays a card. Gaining momentum in the West. Whichever player is leading more states in the West adds 1 momentum marker, plus 1 state support for each Western state not currently having no support for the candidate. Well, he's not leading any states out there. Anytime you have anywhere from 1 to 3 cubes, you're considered leading a state. Anytime you have 4 cubes or more, you are considered carrying a state. And we will demonstrate what carrying a state does as we go. Probably should have done that in the first video, but yeah. So he's not going to play that. Now, normally, when you play this card, you need to play if you're going to preempt it by playing your 2 markers, you need to do it when you play it. So I allow them to do that, since I don't know what the card's really going to be until I flip it over. So Kennedy's going to play 2 momentum markers to preempt that. So since Nixon is leading these states, and he would get state support in all of these, preventing any of them from automatically going to Kennedy, Kennedy's going to use 2 to preempt that, and he won't be able to use any of his text for the rest of this turn. And like I said, use your markers. You're going to lose down to 1 on the end of every single turn anyway. Use them. So he gets 0 rest. Generally, an easy rule of thumb, if there's 4 campaign points, 0 rest. If there's 3 campaign points, it's going to be plus 1 rest. 2 campaign points, plus 2. So he gets 0 rest cubes, which would go here, which I'll try to do that. This just keeps going stupid. Stop it. What I'm doing, it's knocking that support out. So, this is Kennedy. And he is going to take his 4 campaign points. He is going to what's he going to do first? He needs to wrap up a couple of big states where he is. He's in the east here, so he's going to travel to New York. Travel is free within the region. You move to the state where you're campaigning. So he's going to put 1, 2 campaign support on New York. He's going to travel down to Pennsylvania. He has 4 CP. He's going to put 3, 4. That is this turn, this phase. So next is going to be Nixon. Nixon is going to, let's remove these momentum markers. Nixon is going to play his card. And we'll play him further down here a little bit, less chance of them sliding. Fatigue sets in. If opponent's candidate card is currently available for play, flip it over to its exhausted side. At any time, you can play your candidate's card instead of a card from your campaign deck for 5 CP, and then you flip it over to exhausted. You can't flip it back from exhausted unless you get an event that says you can do so. So Nixon is going to go ahead and dog JFK right from the word jump and make him tired. He gets 0 rest. He's using the text, and that is all for this right here. We go to the second phase, and JFK goes first. He's going to play his card. Citizens for Nixon Lodge. The Nixon player adds 1 CP to all cards played for the remainder of this turn, which means if he plays one with 4 CP, he can get 5. If he plays one with 3 CP, he now gets 4. Well, Kennedy played that. He gets 2 rest cubes. That's where you put them. That's the space for them right down here. You put the rest cubes that you get for each card right there. I don't want to forget that. Me, I just, like I said, I keep everything right in front of me. So I put it right on the candidate's card. And Nixon is, Kennedy is going to take the 2 CP. Right there. And he is going to place them in, he's not going to do issues, he's not going to do campaigning for states, getting state support. He is going to place them media support. He's going to go south and east. You can place them in any region you wish. Remember that if your opposing candidate has one there, you must use one to lose one. That's the general rule. Anytime there is a cube in your way from your opponent, you must use one of yours to lose one of theirs. Use one to lose one. That is Kennedy. So Nixon will play his second card, phase 2. The leader in civil rights may add a total of 5 state support in Illinois, Michigan, and New York, no more than 2 per state. There is no leader down here with the issues. No one has issue support cubes on civil rights, so there is no leader. So he is going to take his 1 rest and place it. Normally, Nixon would place his rest cubes there. These are the cubes that at the end of the campaign strategy and rest, these cubes get placed in the political capital bag with the remaining cubes. Again, keeping it where I can keep track of it, put it right there on the candidate card. Just kind of like my little setup. My little setup, my little setup. Okay, this card, Northern Blacks, the leader in civil rights may add a total of 5 state support in Illinois, Michigan, and New York, no more than 2 state support per state. When it says state support means one of those. No more than 2 state support per state means you can do no more than that. If you're taking support away from a state, you're using one to lose one, and you're putting your second one there. Even though there's only one there, you've used 2 in that state. So, let's see here. He's got 3 CP. He's not going to use that text because there's no leader in state support. He's got his 1 rest. He has 3 campaign points. And he is going to dump 1, 2, 3 to get on board with defense. 1 for the first cube, 2 for the second cube in that phase. So he spent all 3, 1 for the first cube, 2 for the second cube. 3 campaign points, 2 cubes on that issue in this phase. And that was Nixon, wasn't it? Yeah, alright. So now we're going to phase 3. Kennedy will be first, as Nixon hath decreed. Kemoy and Matsu. The leader in defense gains 1 momentum marker and may add a total of 3 support anywhere, no more than 1 per state. Kennedy is not the leader in defense. He cannot play momentum markers to preempt it. So he's going to take his +1 rest, and he's going to take his 3 campaign points, his 3 CP, and he is going to, he is in the east. I think he's going to move to, why did I put one there? I'm not sure why. Oh, it's supposed to be Indiana. Sorry, because Indiana has the marker. I put that in the wrong space. He's going to move to Illinois for 1 CP. He's going to place 1 in Illinois and then travel up to Michigan and place 1 there. So he has done travel state support for his action this phase. Next is going to be Nixon. Nope. First, before Nixon goes, he's going to use a momentum marker to take advantage of this text. He is the leader in defense. He gains 1 momentum marker. So he just used 1 to get 1. So he still has 2 this turn. And may add a total of 3 state support anywhere, no more than 1 per state. I think he is going to, he gets to add 3 state support. He's going to add 1 to Pennsylvania, use 1 to lose 1. That is the 1 there, he can't do it there again. He's going to add 1 to New York, use 1 to lose 1. He's spent 1 there, no more than 1 per state. And he's going to put support in California. That is, okay, and now that was actually still Kennedy's card. He used the momentum marker to enact the text on Kennedy's card. He still has 2 momentum markers left. Still 3rd phase, now it is Nixon's turn to go. That's just how I keep track of who's going. Soviet economic growth. Economy moves up 1 space on the issue track. The leader in economy adds 1 in state support in New York. Well, Nixon does not want to do that. So he's going to take his +2 rest. And then he is going to get 2 CP to spend. Knowing this rule, during the momentum phase, there is issue support decay. You take 1 cube off each issue. So if you want there to be a cube there on the next turn, you need to have more than 1. He is going to actually, on this one though, he is going to media support, use 1 to lose 1, and media support, use 1 to lose 1. That's what Nixon is going to do with this phase. Now we go to phase 4 of the first turn. Let's see. Kennedy is going to play East Harlem Pledge. Nixon loses 1 support in civil rights, which he doesn't have 1. Kennedy player may subtract a total of 5 state support from Nixon in the South, and he doesn't have any support in the South. No reason to use the text on that. So he is going to take his +1 rest. Boom. And he is going to take his 3 campaign points. And he is going to use 1 to lose 1 on defense. Now, if he was to use 1 to lose 1 here again, it would cost 2 CP because it would be the second one he placed here, and he has 2 left. He's not going to do that. He's going to place 1 on economy, 1 on civil rights down here. So that way he gets 2 rewards. Regardless of where they end up, he is going to get 2 rewards. So that's what he's done with this 4th phase, Kennedy's turn. And now we go to Nixon. And he is going to play Johnson Jared in Dallas. Kennedy player loses 1 state support in Texas. He doesn't have any. And that doesn't mean, since there aren't any, Nixon gets to put one there. If there's no state support there, you can't go below 0. It doesn't mean you replace it with one of yours. You just take your opponent down to 0. So if he loses 1 state support in Arkansas, it would go down to there. But since he lost one in Texas and there isn't one there, none can be lost. None are gained. It is only what's on the card loses support. And Kennedy may not spend campaign points on campaign actions in the South for the remainder of the turn. It doesn't look like it's going to benefit him on this turn. So we are going to go ahead and take the 2 rest. Nixon is. And now you can see at the end of campaign strategy and rest, these are the cubes that are going back into the political capital bag. These down here. So, you know, it's good to have cards with rest. Let us see. He's got 2 campaign points here in the 4th phase. And he is going to... I think he is going to... keep, not at that, that's all right. He's going to go economic, media support, to prevent Kennedy from swapping these around, hoping that it'll stay that way. He wants to basically preempt Kennedy be able to switch this around, so instead of momentum or endorsement for this one, he gets momentum and an endorsement. So that is that. An endorsement again gives you points on election day and possible extra free states that you normally wouldn't get if there was no endorsement in a media region. So that is what Nixon is going to do. We go to the 5th and final play phase of turn 1. And again, this video will do turn 2, turn 3, cut it off. Next video 4, 5 and debates. Next video 7, 8 and election day. So Kennedy is first here. Phase 5. Kennedy gains 3 issue support on defense. Yeah, that's right. He's going to use that text. Well, first he's going to take the rest. I always try to do rest when the card is played before I do anything else, or else I'll forget. So he takes the rest. Now he gets 3 issue support on defense. Use 1 to lose 1. And the second one he places on there in this turn costs 2. Now Kennedy has got that. And I wanted to play that card last for Kennedy. So I mean, I do put a little bit of decision making in each, but there's not much verses in this. And I really, for me, it's easy to divorce myself from trying to do one campaign over the other. I learned a long time ago playing these baseball games and everything else to divorce myself from affecting the game that way. And I really just, so I decided Kennedy wanted to play that one last, and it may pay off. I forget what Nixon's final card is. Let's see what I put there. Unpledged electors. On election day, if Kennedy wins Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi with less than 4 state support, the electoral votes for these states are not awarded to either player. And Kennedy's got a lot of support in the South. It may not be a bad one to play. However, he could take 4 CP. And he could kind of wreck here. And with momentum and endorsement on the line, I think for this turn he's going to use the campaign points. He gets 4 campaign points, and they all go to the issues. So he's going to use 1 to lose 1 on the economy. He's going to use 1 to lose 1 for defense, because that's what we're going after. His second one played there that turn costs 2, so that's his second and third campaign points. And then his 4th campaign point, he's going to make the jerk move, since it has to be all issues. It has to be all placed on the issues. It can't be issues and media or issues and state support. It has to be 1, 2, or 3. It can't be a mixture of the two. He's going to use his last campaign support, campaign point, and use 1 to lose 1. So that way, nobody is on the economy. So that paid off for Nixon. Okay, that is the end of that. We go to the momentum phase. First, let's see. Momentum phase, and I use this back page of the rule book. Comes in perfectly. Momentum phase. First is momentum decay. Both players discard half their momentum markers rounding down. Kennedy has none. Nixon has 2. He's going to discard 1 momentum marker. He still has 1. Second issue shift. The player with most media support can move adjacent tiles. He could move economy here. He could move economy here and put the other there. He likes limiting Kennedy. He over here on the 3rd, and he likes having this one, so he's going to leave it exactly as it is. Awards for issue support. Third place issue is 1 momentum marker for this candidate, which is Kennedy, so he does get a momentum marker for the next turn. Second place issue would be momentum or an endorsement. There are no candidates with support here, no reward given for that. First place, Nixon on defense, is momentum and an endorsement. So Nixon gets another momentum marker, and he draws an endorsement card and immediately enacts it. Endorsement in the east. Place 1 of your endorsement markers in the east. If your opponent already has 1 endorsement marker or more endorsement markers, then remove 1 of those markers instead. There are no endorsement markers in the east, so Nixon is going to place 1 there. And then this goes to the bottom of the pile. I leave it face up so I know where the bottom of the pile is. Kind of like a self-absorbing discard pile. That is the end of the momentum phase. Nope, 1 more. Issue decay. Step 4, issue decay. 1 support cube is removed from each issue tile down here. 1 support cube, 1 support cube. Now it's nice and fresh. And they have to do it over again in order to get the rewards. If there had been multiple placed on them, 1 would have been lost and they would have already been in place to get the rewards for the next turn. That's it for the momentum phase. Now we go to campaign strategy and rest. Campaign strategy. Both players place cards into their campaign strategy stack. During turns 1 through 5, they place 1 card. Well, he has 1 card left, and sometimes they're able to get more cards. That's where it goes on the board, and it's actually not a bad place to put them because they're out of the way instead of putting them underneath here and these wanting to slide with the angle I've got anyway. Normally I would just stack them up underneath the candidate cards. Yeah, this is where they go next to the rest spot. So we'll go ahead and put the 1 of each that they saved there. And then no gathering momentum cards are allowed, and it says on those cards, cannot use for campaign strategy. And then rest. Both players put their collected rest cubes into the political capital bag. So this is going to go here. This is going to go here. Doink, like that. And that is the end. Turn 1. So we'll see if we can't move along a little more quickly. We get to a new rule. I'll slow down and we'll go over it. But let's move things along, shall we? Kennedy, Nixon. So next turn, which is the second turn, right there, turn 2. Still get 5 cards. We're going to go into the political capital bag. Let's get you guys out of here. You're taking up space, interlopers. Now we'll put you right there. Into the political capital bag. Draw 2 cubes. Remember, it says 1 at a time, but you got to draw 2 in order to have 2 of the same color, so I'll just do it One of each. One Democrat, one Republican. So we must draw a third cube to break the tie for initiative. And it is blue. So Kennedy has initiative. And again, all exhausted does, there are some event cards, campaign event cards, that if the opponent is exhausted, stuff happens. But all the exhausted does is prevent you from playing your card for 5 CP. Okay, so that is that. We deal cards. Each player gets 6 cards, as noted on the top of the turn box. Kennedy first, since he won initiative. Again, the rules say deal the cards first and then determine initiative, but it doesn't say who gets dealt first. I just go, since there is initiative, I use it that way. So those are campaign cards for Kennedy, campaign cards for Nixon. Let's go through. Now, I'm not showing you the cards I'm saving for debate. When we get to the debate, I'll show you why I save the cards for debate. As a matter of fact, since he's going... nope. He won, so Nixon will go first on this one. And I like to look and see what I save for debate. Here, we'll show him to you. He's going for defense, and it's 4 CP. So I probably, if I have a good defense card with the Republican on it, defense, 4 CP. That's the one I'm going to save. So that'll be the last one that won't get played. Another one. That's not horrible. Start marking decline. These can all be played by Nixon. I think he's going to save that and decide. That's not too bad. Okay, he's going to do those. Kennedy, he has economy 3. He doesn't need to continue that way. And he actually can play all of these cards as well. But he wants a high CP, but he doesn't have any 4s. So I think he's going to save that one for last. Which will be his campaign strategy card. Oh, that's a possibility. That's a good last one. He's going to let Kennedy go first. Or he's going to let Nixon go first. Ooh. It's got a possibility. Okay, we'll try it this way. Alright. So first is going to be Nixon. During phase 1 of turn 2, let's play ball. Nixon, card 1. Gaff. Opponent loses 1 momentum marker and 3 state support in the state currently occupied by their candidate token, which is Kennedy. He's going to lose his momentum marker. He's doing the text. No rest. He gets 0 rest. So Kennedy loses his momentum marker and loses 3 state support. Now remember, you can't go negative on losing state support. He only has 1. He loses 1. There are not 2 more to lose. So that is the text on this card. Kennedy, phase 1. Player gains 1 momentum marker. He gets it back. That's kind of a good thing for him, because I forgot Nixon put that as his first card. Alrighty, and he gets 2 rest. Doink. Alright. Phase 2. Nixon going. Heartland of America. The Nixon player may add a total of 7 state support in states in the West or Midwest having 10 or fewer electoral votes, no more than 1 per state. He gets a rest. So we'll put that there. This means at the end of the game, if someone has an endorsement, say here, then any unsupported state goes to the player that has the endorsement. If not, then it goes to the color of the border. So Republican would get these states, Democrat would get these states. This is actually not a bad card to play right now, so it's eliminating the need to worry about most of those. So he's going to do the text. Nixon player, 7 state support in states in the West or Midwest having 10 or fewer votes. No more than 1 per state. So he's got 7. Well, Midwest or West. First, less than 10 or less, having 10 or fewer electoral votes. He's going to take Kentucky. He's going to take Washington. He is going to take... Okay, he's done those. He has 5 left to go. First, he's going to get the ones that could go to his opponent if there's no endorsements out here. He's going to take New Mexico, and he's going to take Nevada. Now he's going to go for the highest ones remaining, which would be Oregon is 6, and Idaho and Montana are 4 each. That's a pretty good swing out there for our Republican candidate, I would say. Pretty good swing indeed. Next is going to be the Kennedy campaign. Kennedy's Peace Corps. For the remainder of the turn, the Kennedy player may preempt events when playing cards without needing to expend momentum markers to do so. He's going to take that. So we'll set that here. We'll set it on top of this. Move that up a little. So that way we know. So that effect is in... That effect is in ETH. That is double words. He gets 1 rest. So he's going to take the rest. He's going to use the text. And now we're going to go to phase 3. Now he can preempt without using momentum markers. So he doesn't need the 2 to keep Nixon from using something. Nixon is going to be first in phase 3. Stock market in decline. Economy moves up 2 spaces on the issue track. The leader in economy adds 2 state support in New York. And he's going to look and make sure, yeah, he's going for defense. He's not worried about economy right now. He is going to take the 1 rest and the 3 campaign points. And he is going to adjust the board back up again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Because I keep leaning on this. I'll bet. Alright, now I gotta stop leaning on stuff. No elbows on the table, Auntie Mabel. 3 of these, I think we're going to go defense, and 2 for the second one, defense. Next we go to Kennedy's portion of phase 3. He will play a card. He doesn't want to use momentum for that, so no. He plays that card. For the remainder of the turn, the player is not required to make travel costs nor to make support checks for campaigning actions in states that are either carried by an opponent or by the opponent's candidate token. I really need to do that at some point. We'll get around to it. I don't do that often. He's not going to do that. He's going to take his 2 rest. And then he is going to get 2 CP. He's going to put 1 on economy and use 1 to lose 1 for defense. Okay, first player, second player in the phase. So we go back to Nixon. It is now the 4th phase of turn 2. Nixon is going to play a card. Swing state. Player may add 5 support to a single state which is currently being led, not carried, by the opposing player. Immediately move player's candidate to that state without paying normal travel costs. He is going to do that. So he gets 1 rest. He is going to move to New York. So he goes there without paying normal travel costs, which would be 1, 2. And he gets to add 5 state support to a single state, which is currently being led, not carried. Carried is 4 state support cubes or more. So he gets to add 5 state support to New York. Use 1 to lose 1. That's the first. And he's going to add 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 4 cubes there. Nixon is now carrying New York. He has enough support that he is carrying New York. And Kennedy may have a problem with that. We'll find out. This is phase 4. It is now Kennedy's turn. Nixon egged in Michigan. Funny, Kennedy's in Michigan. Move the Nixon candidate to Michigan without paying normal travel costs. The Nixon player must subtract 1 state support in Michigan and may not spend CP campaigning in the Midwest for the remainder of that turn. He's going to get him out of the Northeast. He's going to take the chance, and he's going to bring him there. And he is going to get his 2 rest. Kennedy is. He's got a lot of cubes going in to the campaign, the political, what is it? Shoot. The political, political capital bag. He's got a lot going in. Nixon, not so much. Okay, so he has moved him there, and Nixon cannot campaign in the Midwest on this final phase. Nixon is going to go first. Phase 5. He's going to get 2 rest. Needed that. Election Day event. On Election Day, the player leading Connecticut gains 5 support checks in California. He's got media support. He gets 2 CP. He wants to keep defense where it is. However, well, he gets 2. He's going to add 1 to defense and take away the 1 that Kennedy has on the economy. That's what he's going to do. He's confident in his ability to hold that as the number 1 issue and gain the benefits thereof. Final card played of the second turn, her block. The Kennedy player may remove 2 Nixon media support cubes from the board. Would not make an issue because Nixon would not want to move that. He's going to ignore that. He's going to take the 2 rest. He's putting 9 rest cubes. I was going to start doing that. I forgot. He's going to put 9 rest cubes in the political capital bag next turn. And Nixon is going to be putting in 5. That's kind of crazy. So he got his 2 rest. He's got 2 campaign points. He's got a momentum. Is he worried about that? I don't think he is. We're going to do this. He has 2 campaign points. This is to show off a rule. In order to campaign either in a state that is led by your opponent or in a state where your opponent's marker is, you have to make a campaign check. Make sure that is what it's called. It's on page 5. It's actually at the top of page 5, right column. Support check. He's got to make a support check. So we're going to do that. He has 2 campaign points right there. How you do a support check is, a support check involves drawing a single cube from the bag. Dum-de-dum. It doesn't. Okay, that's just a support check. No, it's not. All right. Let me find the page where that is real quick, and then we will go over it. Gaining support, losing support, triggering events, preempting events, campaigning in states, increasing support. Okay, so where does it tell you how to do it? Doesn't I don't know where it is, but we're not going to worry about finding it quickly. In a nutshell, if you are campaigning in those states, you must make a campaign support check. In order to do so, however many campaign points you have to declare how many of those you are going to put into the support check. If you can use any or all of your cubes. In this instance, there is nothing there. He only has 2 cubes. So he's going to say he's going to use both cubes. Okay? He is going to return those to his pile. He's going to get the political capital bag. He is going to draw 2 cubes. Any cubes that come up red or Republican simply get returned to Nixon's pile. Any that are blue get to be used by the Democrat. 2 red, which means they get returned to Nixon's pile, and Kennedy did not gain any support in Michigan. There we go. If there had been 1 blue, he would have taken it. If there had been a red there and there were 2 blue, use 1 to lose 1, and then the second one would be support. But nothing happened there. So we are going to go to the momentum phase of turn 2. First is going to be momentum decay, discard half rounded down, so Kennedy keeps his single one. Nixon loses 1 of his 2. His momentum marker, his campaign button. Issue shift. The player with the most media support can switch 2 adjacent issue tiles. Nixon, Nixon, nothing, nothing. Nixon has 2. He doesn't want to move the one that is the top issue because he gets more that way, so it stays as it is. And I keep doing that. Stop it. I keep leaning on the table. I'm lazy. The third thing in the momentum phase, awards for issue support. No support for the third issue, no reward. No support for the second issue, no reward. Support for the first issue, Nixon, the Republican, he gets 1 momentum and 1 endorsement. So Nixon gets another momentum marker, and he gains an endorsement. Top one on the pile, endorsement in the east. Place 1 of your endorsement markers in the east. He already has 1, so he's going to place a second one. Now Kennedy would have to use 3 there in order to get the endorsement in the east. If your opponent already has 1 or more endorsement markers in that region, remove 1 of their markers instead. That is the final of the momentum phase. Issue decay. Remove 1 support cube. We took 1 from there, and now Nixon starts the next turn with a support cube already there, which is a bonus. He can spend 3 CP to put a second one, and 2 for the third, because it would be the first in the turn, second in the turn. So he's got a bonus on defense. And I get a text of some sort. Alrighty, so that is the end of the momentum phase. We go to campaign strategy and rest. They're going to take their strategy cards and put them in their campaign strategy spaces. And they're going to take their rest cubes and put them in the political campaign bag. So Kennedy's go in. A couple more than Nixon, but Nixon's go in as well. That is the end of turn 2. So we will move these here. Let's play one more turn, and then we will call a video. Try to go in greater detail for this one as well, because I want to be able to kind of fly through the next ones, which will include the debates in Election Day. So, first thing we do is initiative check. So we're going to do our initiative check. We're going to take 2 out of the bag. Kennedy wins initiative outright. These go back in his pile, not in the political capital bag. He wins initiative. He is going to Get cards. Let's deal the cards. Kennedy, Nixon, Kennedy, Nixon, Kennedy, Nixon, Kennedy, Nixon, Kennedy, Nixon, Kennedy, Nixon, Kennedy, Nixon. Nixon has 2 for defense. He's got defense sewed up if they play first. Let's see. I think he wants that. He's going to go first. Kennedy is going to go first. Not let Nixon go first. Kennedy is going to go first here in the 3rd turn. He's going to save that for, what does he have? He has economy and defense. That's a really good one. He's going to save that for that. What does he have? 3 and 3. He can decide later. He's got this. He could just go for that. Yeah, that might be the first one to play. Screw Nixon kind of move. Doink doink. He's going to have to do that. That. Okay, yeah, he's going to play it that way. Or the screw Kennedy kind of. Oh, shoot, I'm doing this for Nixon. Daggone it. That totally makes it go the other way. Yeah, we'll go for that. Ah, crapola. Alright. No, I went the wrong way. Yeah, okay, yeah. He gets that. He's going to that. Oh yeah, no, he's going to do that. He might do that first. Okay. Boom, boom. He's going to keep this. Yeah, he's going to go for that. Okay. Doink, doink. All right. So that is Nixon's. Kennedy, does he want to go first or not? What does he got? Let's try 5. Okay, no. But there. He's going to do that as his campaign strategy card. So we have there. That's not going to be good. He's going to go first because he wants to remember what he's going to do on the first turn. Doink doink. Okay, cool. Alright, yep. Kennedy is going to go first. Alright, so here we go. Phase 1 of the 3rd turn. Kennedy is first. And he is not going to use that text, which is Eisenhower silenced. The Nixon player may not spend CP campaigning in any state that is led by Kennedy for the remainder of the turn. This is prevented by the Dwight D. Eisenhower event. Arrgh. Since they can play him around, we're going to do that. Okay. He is going to use that event. So no rest. And Nixon cannot campaign in any state led by Kennedy for the remainder of the turn, which means it has blue state support on it. Okay. Next is Nixon. Primetime television. Player may add a total of 5 state support in any one region where that player has media support cubes. No more than 2 per state. I think he's going to go for the East. He's going to play that. He gets 1 rest, which we'll put there. That's where it's supposed to go. And he has 5 campaign points. And he's going to put them in the East. He is going to media support. I think he's going to put one more in New York. He's going to put one in Pennsylvania. Use one to lose one. He's going to put one in New Jersey, one in Maryland, and one in Connecticut. Alright. Doink. That is his. And he used the text, no CP, but there's a lot more that went with it. Okay, now we go to the second phase. Kennedy goes first. He is going to... And what was this one? East. Okay. He is going to ignore Southern revolt if Kennedy is leading in civil rights. The Nixon player may add a total of 5 state support in the South. Not happening. So he's going to take his rest, which goes here. I keep leaning on the table. Elbows off, Auntie Mabel. We've done that. We are going to use his 3 CP. Okay. He gets 3 campaign points. And he's going for media support. He's going to use one to lose one in the East. He's going to place one in the East. And he's going to place one in the West. Why not? Doink and doink. Okay. Next is Nixon. Gaining momentum in the Midwest. Whichever player is leading the Midwest adds a momentum marker plus 1 state support in each Midwestern state currently having no support for either candidate. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nixon is going to use that. He's going to get a momentum marker. And he is going to add 1 state support in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Yee. Alright, that is the end of phase 2. We go to phase 3, and it is the Kennedy's camp. World Series ends. The player with media support cubes in the East may add a total of 5 state support in the East, no more than 2 per state. Yeah, that's a picture of Bill Mazeroski. See? Tabletop sports, baby. Loving it. We're going to put 2 in Pennsylvania. We're going to put 2 in Maryland. We're going to put 1 in Maryland. Use it to lose it. Which means we have 2 left. Nixon is carrying New York. We're going to remove 2 cubes from New York. Now he is merely leading New York with only 3 cubes there. So that is Kennedy's 3rd phase card. Now it is Nixon's. Did he get his rest? He did not get his rest. See, it's an easy thing to forget. Nixon's 3rd phase. He gets 2 rest. Try to do it when you flip the card. That way you won't forget. The Nixon player gains 1 momentum marker. He is going to use that card. No? Why? He has 3 momentum markers and he hasn't used them yet. Take the 2 CP. So he's got 3 already. And there's only 2 more cards going to be played and he hasn't used them yet. So take the 2 CP. You got plenty of momentum markers. He is going to place an additional 1 in defense and then place 1 with economy. Okay. We're going to go to the 4th phase of turn 3. Kennedy goes first. He gets 2 rest, regardless of how it is used. Put them there. For the remainder of the turn, the Kennedy player is exempt from travel costs and adds 1 CP to all cards played as campaigning actions, maximum of 5. And he only has 1 card left. He's not going to do that. It's called Ken Air. A private plane leased from his father was a great asset to Kennedy as he crisscrossed the country. See, I mean, it's got little things that happened during the campaign. So, yeah. He's not going to use that since he only has one card left. He's taken his 2 rest. He's going to take his 2 CP. He's going to burn 1. Now 2. Shoot. I think he's going to burn 1 on the economy. Use 1 to lose 1. And he's going to use 1 to lose 1 on defense as well. Going for the issues here. Hoping to get some rewards. Nixon, phase 4. Hostile press corps. For the remainder of the turn, the Nixon player must treat all states as if they were being carried by Kennedy when performing campaigning actions. So he's not going to do that. He takes 0 rest. He gets 4 campaign points. Doink. He is going to 1 on defense, 2 on economy, 3 for the second on economy. We're doing issues on this one, it looks like. Kennedy is going to use his momentum marker to trigger that event. So for the remainder of the turn, the Nixon player must treat all states as if they were being carried by Kennedy when performing campaign actions. And he may not spend CP campaigning any state Kennedy is leading. So he's got 2 events on him for the next phase. We'll see if he decides to do that. Kennedy, phase 5. Play a card. Southern strategy. The Nixon player may add a total of 5 state support in the South, no more than 2 per, and Kennedy gains 1 issue in civil rights. He's not going to do that, so he's going to take the 1 rest. Goes right here. No rest on the last one. 2 rest. I didn't put rest over there for Nixon, did I? No, because that was it. That was Nixon. Okay, that's right. Kennedy is not going to do that as it benefits the Republican candidate. So he's going to take his 3 CP. And he is going to... he's already got 2 media support. He's going to last ditch this. He's going to use 1 to lose 1, and then he's going to use 2 to lose 1. Take it off economy. He's got media support. Maybe he can move defense down to the 2nd place issue. Nixon, final card of the phase, final card of the video. A time for greatness. Nixon loses 1 issue support for each issue. The Kennedy player may add 3 state support anywhere, no more than 1 per state. So he is going to use his 2, since this is it, use them or lose them. He's going to preempt that. Kennedy can't do it anyway. He's going to get down to 1 anyhow. Whatever, we'll leave him. We'll show you preempting. If he had a momentum marker, then he would be able to use that text. So we'll say he's going to get down to 1 anyway, so spending them takes it down to 1. He's going to preempt that because he doesn't realize Kennedy doesn't have any momentum. He's not paying attention. And he's not a crook. He gets 0 rest, so he is only going to have that. Kennedy's been dumping a lot of rest markers into the political capital bag, and we might begin to see the effect of that. He gets 4 campaign points. Now, he knows he wants the momentum and the endorsement for the 1st place issue. So I think he's going to be going media support. He's going to use 1 to lose 1 right there. He's going to place 1 there. He's going to place a 2nd one there and a 2nd one there. That way this stays where it is. He gets the rewards. So that is the end of the 5 activity phases. So we're going to go to momentum now. Momentum decay. Players discard half their momentum markers rounding down. He only has one, he has none, so none are discarded. Let's get these out of the way. Second is issue shift. He has the most support, none here, and Democrat. So you could move him, but he's going to leave that exactly where he wants it to be. Awards for issue support, 1 momentum and 1 endorsement. So Nixon gets a momentum, and he gets an endorsement. Endorsement in the Midwest. So there's nothing there, so he gets to add an endorsement in the Midwest. Nixon is having a good opening game, and this game is so fluid that you can't get stuck on one thing. You really, it's a long game. It really is. It's a long game. So Nixon, they're both doing well. Nixon may have the upper hand at this point, but it's a long game. Issue decay, 1 comes off, 1 support check comes off each issue. Now we go to campaign strategy and rest. The cards go here. The rest cubes go in the campaign, in the political capital bag. And that's going to take us to turn 4, and that's going to end this first video. We're at an hour plus, so the next ones should be shorter. But yeah, that's how the basic turns 1 through 5 and turns 7 and 8 are run. You'll be seeing more examples of those, but in the next one we're going to be covering the debates, turn 6. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to check out 1960, The Making of a President by GMT Games, designed by Jason Matthews and Christian Leonhard. Fantastic game, highly recommended. IDJ likes it, he's an enabler. That's why I went out and bought it, even though I couldn't afford the stupid thing. Thanks, IDJ, appreciate it. I know you always got my back, spending my money for me. Setting it up for the next one. No events have been done yet. Guys, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. This is Chris, Tabletop Sports Delaware. Keep ons a rolling.